and welcome to the National Museum of Kenya, Malindi Museum. Did you know that Kenya has over 22 regional museums across the country? Now you know. Malindi Museum is one of them, which was opened to the public in 2004 under the jurisdiction of the National Museum of Kenya after renovations. This is how the Malindi Museum looks from outside. There's a serene environment. There are a lot of trees, hence the very nice, beautiful, cool breeze from the ocean. And this is the front view of the Malindi Museum. This is how the building looks like from outside. It is massive. It's a two-story building. And you're welcome to come and visit and learn the rich history of the Mijikenda community and the Dawida people of the coastal Kenya. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, depending on where you're watching from. My name is Rachel Kaloki and welcome back to my channel. Please show me some love by subscribing to this channel. Share it with your friends. Tell them to call their friends, and tell their families that here it's late. Make sure you're not forgetting to press on the notification bell so that you're notified every time a new video pops. On the entrance, you find this picture of Mekatilili Wamenza. Mekatilili Wamenza is one of the freedom fighters that led the Giriama people to resist the British people. She is also said to have mysterious powers that came from the Kaya and the Giriama shrines. If you want to know more about Mekatilili Wamenza, make an appointment to come and visit the Malindi Museum so that you can get all the details of Mekatilili Wamenza and how she contributed in the freedom that we celebrate here in Kenya. Malindi Museum is located in Malindi town and it's a walking distance from the town center. It's easily accessible. The museum is dedicated to the rich history of the ethnic groups of Kenyan coast, as well as the marine animals that inhabit it. The museum is open to the public from 8:30 a.m. Allow me to run you through the entrance fee of the museum, the Malindi Museum. A Kenyan adult pays $1, that is 100 Kenya shillings. A child pays 50-cent dollar, that is 50 Kenya shillings. East Africans pay $2, that is 200 Kenya shillings. The rest of the Africans pay $4, that is 400 Kenya shillings, and foreigners pay $5, that is equivalent to 500 Kenya shillings. So the museum contains various historical artifacts containing traditional objects such as musical instruments, tools and costumes used by the ethnic groups of the Mijikenda people, the Dawida people, the Swahili people, and also the artifacts relating to the Vasco da Gama, the explorer. So this museum is rich in content. It's rich in history of the people found in coast and also Vasco da Gama, the explorer. So some of the things that we found here were used and are still being used by these communities that I have mentioned. Some of these tools and instruments include kitchen items like the mbuzi or coconut grater, gourds for water and milk storage, calabashes used as dishes, makuti brooms, etc., etc. We also have musical instruments like horns, drums, and whistles, which still play a very huge role in the Mijikenda melodies. Not forgetting the traditional attires like the hando and the kishutu that is also still very famous and commonly used by the Mijikenda community. There is a lot of information placed on the walls about the marine heritage, the history of the Vasco da Gama, how he came and discovered Malindi, and a lot more history. So this is a place where kids can come and learn, students, comrades, teachers, everyone can come. So you're all welcome, and then later you can go to the beach and just relax and have fun. You know, it's never that serious. So enjoy the rest of the video. This is how the men and women of the Mijikenda community used to dress. Beautiful kikois and the handles for the ladies, a lot of bracelets and necklaces, and they used to look magnificent. In the past, a section of Mijikenda made body marks in their youth until the 1960s. The youth made zigzag cuts incised immediately below the eyes, while others had two lines cut marks running from the ears and stopped close to the mouth. It was also fashionable to make a V incision on the two front upper teeth, while others preferred removing the two lower front teeth. They also wore beauty ornaments made of different colors of beads that were worn then and now and are still a symbol of beauty in the Mijikenda community. This is how the Mijikenda community would build their houses using makuti and sticks, and they would thatch the whole house with makuti. And these are some of the kitchenwares they used to use: the mortar and the pixel, the coconut grater, the mukeka, and so many other things. And I know that most of the things here are still being used. We have the guad, we have the uteo, we have the broom, the makuti brooms, and even some of the foods and fruits they used to eat that I believe that we still do. Musical instruments like the drum, the horns, and so many. Let's check out the Dawida community. Vadawida Vadawida na mrogu wa mwasinda. Hello! Traditionally, the Dawida community claim origins from the slopes of Mount Kilimanjaro, where the god Mulungu created them. God gave them a leader, Muisanga, at a divine ceremony called Mwariga Kirombo, which means the initiation at Rombo. The Dawida community migrated to Kenya in 5 groups, each settling at different places in the present Taita Taveta County in Kenya. While settling in these areas, the Taita-speaking people interacted with other communities or tribes, particularly the Taveta, the Pare of Tanzania, and the Mas. Subgroups or sub-tribes of Taita, they can be divided into Dawida, who traditionally lived around the Dawida. There were Sagala, who lived around Sagala, and there were Kasigau, who lived around the Kasigau massif of the Taita Hills. The Sagala people also speak Kisagala, which is much closer to Giriama or Mijikenda. That is the 9 tribes who speak almost the same language and inhabit the Kenyan coast. The Kasigau are also much closer to the Pare and Chaga of Tanzania, but are all Taita-speaking people. Matters freedom fighting. Mwangeka, a legendary figure of the Taitas, resisted the British colonialists from approaching the lands of the Wataita. This is how the Dawida community built their houses. They built mud huts that were round-shaped at the base with a cone-shaped grass-thatched roofs. The traditional architect involved erection of a central pole out of hardwood tree. Their houses had one room with at least 2 beds, one for the father, which was placed near the door for security purposes, and another one for the mother and children. However, sometimes the houses were smaller and they made extensions for the youths. The Dawida community played their traditional dance called Mwazindika using these drums. It's one of the best dances, traditional dances you can have out there. And it's played till this date. The traditional foods of the Dawida people included things like kimanga, sweet potatoes, cassavas, bananas, cowpeas, yams, pumpkins, and so many others. And these foods were supplemented by the game meat that they hunted in the plains. They also had vegetables, and I think these things are also still being eaten until to date. They have also traditional vegetables like mchunga, kitoja, matosa, mrenge, ndunda, etc. They also had a traditional locally brewed drink that is most commonly known as mbangara. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Make sure you're pressing on the notification bell so that you're notified every time a new video pops up. Remember to tell a friend to come and subscribe. Also, don't forget to put Malindi Museum in your itinerary whenever you visit Malindi or Kilifi County. Remember that nothing is impossible and God's time is the best. Spread love and peace, positive vibes, and make sure you're making me reach 5,000 subscribers this month.